I recently found a really cool delay, a different type of delay. This is the Akai ME10D. We use delay in music to create a sense of space. In the real world, we make a sound, it reflects off a surface, and then it comes back to us. The further away the wall or surface, the longer it takes to come back to us. We can't always control the space that we're playing in, so there are a handful of ways to recreate this echo or delay.
Digital delay.
Digital delay use analog to digital converters to record the sound, then they temporarily store it and play back the delayed signal using digital to analog converters. Analog delays use clocks to determine when the signal is passed from one capacitor to the next, resulting in the delayed signal. A tape delay records the signal to tape, and the distance between the recording and the playback heads, combined with the tape speed, determines the character and the length of the delay. These three types of delay are pretty well known, but there is another type. It's called a MIDI delay. MIDI delay. As simple as it sounds, it allows you to replicate the MIDI signal and delay the playback. Let's have a listen. I have my Roland J6 panned left, and I have my Moog Mavis panned right. This unit was lent to me by Southside Guitars. Specializing in vintage gear, Southside Guitars have a great range of rare synths, microphones, guitars, pedals, vinyls, CDs, mixers, and recording equipment. This exact unit of the Akai ME10D is available in stores and online. It's in really good condition. The only small issue is that the up button is a little bit temperamental and it can take a couple of presses before it works. But everything works fine and I think it's really great value. I'll put a link in the description to this exact unit. Thank you, Southside Guitars. I want to highlight a couple of things that I think this synth does really well. The first is adding a slightly offset doubling effect. You can use the pitch shift an octave down to beef things up. You can use it to make the second line in canon with the first to create a call and response. The great thing about this is it doesn't create a massive washed out sound like it would if you were to use a normal delay. But you can create a massive washed out sound if you add things like long delay to both of your synths. This way of using it is a great way of creating a rich and interesting texture to sit in the background of your mix. Or you could just create a beautiful ambient piece of music. Of course, there are endless possibilities with this. The hands-on controls mean you can easily switch in between different sounds for different parts of your songs, like I did in this piece. This device is so much fun and addictive. The hands-on controls make it perfect addition for a doorless setup. These extra knobs to twiddle with can drastically change the soundscape. I could sit here for hours trying out different combinations. To wrap things up, I'm going to give a more detailed demonstration of all of the inputs and outputs, what all the buttons do, and how to set this up. Let's go over all the buttons and functions, the inputs and the outputs of this machine. Power, 240 volts, 50 hertz. Typical Australian power. You might call that a figure 8 lead. Funnily enough, I have one right here. On the back here we have MIDI in, MIDI out, and a through. So there are no audio inputs into this. This is not a typical delay device. With that being said, we will need at least 2 synths. Here is the Roland J6. I'm going to take the MIDI out of this machine and put it into the MIDI in of this machine. Korg mini log. We've got the output of the ME10D and we will put it into the input of the Korg. And for my audio signal, I'm going to use this Boss mixer. The J6 will be plugged into channel 1. And now the Korg is plugged into channel 2. Of course, I need to plug this mixer into my interface. What I need to do next is to make sure that these are both on the same MIDI channel. So the J6 is on channel 4. I just need to make sure that this is also on channel 4. So now that's on channel 4, we should hear this essentially playing this synth. As I turn the Korg down, so that's just the J6. I'll turn the Korg back up. And I'll turn the J6 down. Now we've got our setup down pack. Let's walk through the functions of this device. The delay button will engage it. Delay off, you're just going to hear the J6. Delay on, you're going to hear the Korg mini log as well. Through basically means that you're just using your first device to control your second device. You of course can have delay and through. I'm not too sure what program change does. I've played with it a little bit. I can't seem to figure out what it is. This octave section here is pretty cool. You can have your second device playing at the same octave as your first device. And if you press down, it plays at an octave below. So this device is a little bit temperamental. The up button doesn't always work, but you of course can have it playing up the octave as well. Now you have your decay time. So that's almost no delay. Get to more of like a subtle glitch type of feel. And here you're having more of an actual spatial. It's a pretty long delay. The dynamics will affect the velocity output of the MIDI. Currently not working on this synth, but it definitely works on a couple of my other synths that I've used this device on. With that being said, let's try to make an actual bit of music. I'm going to plug in a delay off. It's already a great starting point, and then throwing delay on top. There you go, this is super addictive. However long I edit this video down to be, I've been jamming with this for about half an hour. If you can get your sequencer just to play your track through, and then you've got so many knobs just to twiddle with, just because you've got another signal, and then you can add, say, something like a delay, and you can really create something that's a full soundscape. And yeah, like I was saying, this button is a bit temperamental, but usually you get it on the second or third hit. Apart from that, this machine's in great condition. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Send me a comment, let me know your thoughts. The link to this unit is in the description.